Hello, friends. It's Chapo after the fact. She said to reporters, I worry that the people who Obama excites, or like his base, is different from what I'm going for. The hard-working, like working and middle class.
I think she said white working class.
Hard-working.
She did white.
She said white.
Working class.
She said white.
So
Yeah,
so the types of people who, I mean, some of them might be younger, but a lot of them who were talking that language Matt was saying now about unification, they didn't give a shit about unification. As you say, that concept did not exist until a month ago for them either, because they all supported when Hillary was, as the Tom Watson and what the reading series we'll get to later will point out, is that Obama was viewed as a target that needed to be destroyed in 2008. And, good on them. He was their opponent. Fine. All the stuff they did was incredibly scummy and disgusting, but at least they weren't pretending to be this pious,
exactly.
Brahmin presence that said everyone just needs to calm down and let's have this be a slow acting coronation. So it's all fake.
So where this shit really started was the end of this imaginary non-aggression pact, which, by the way, if that were the thing, the way to do a non-aggression pact, if you were Sanders and Warren, as Warren people love to say, they believe in the same things. They want the same goals. I'd be happy with either of them being a nominee. Well, then the thing to do would be whoever's trailing going into Iowa, drop out and endorse.
Right. Who has the broader base? Oh, it's him. Drop out.
This is all clear by now. It's not going to change in time for the fucking caucus to start. She doesn't have it. It didn't happen. Maybe you could argue she could have made it happen, but through a series of decisions and vagaries, who will never be able to tell, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And now, if you really care about this, if you really care about beating Biden, which is these fucking people say, oh, you're helping Biden. Well, you really want to fucking defeat Biden and fucking drop out and endorse Bernie.
And also, if Liz Warren and her people also think that defeating Biden is the most important thing and that we should be talking about his record, why aren't they making attacks on his record on Social Security or trade instead of making this bullshit Me Too moment out of these speciously fucking sourced and gossipy claims about Bernie being sexist?
If this really was the moment that they wanted to defeat Biden and humiliate him in Iowa, as the Sanders team obviously does, they clearly would have used this last gasp to focus on Biden. Instead, they used it to focus on Sanders. That's all you need to know.
This really all began a week ago. The breach of this imaginary non-aggression pact with the call script.
Yes,
it was I think Politico covered it. A call script which initially people said was fake or wasn't real, but I think what's pretty clear is that someone working for the campaign proposed this script about how to talk to Warren voters in a campaign call and put it in a Slack with 30,000 people. Yeah. But the mods or the people really in charge of it were no, actually we shouldn't use this. We shouldn't use this thing.
Right.
But no matter what the case is with that, the text of this call or the call script is just about the most anodyne thing imaginable.
Yes.
It just literally says, hey, we like Liz Warren a lot too. She's our second choice. Bernie's my first choice because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Because again, totally factually accurate. Warren's base is wealthier and more educated, and those people are going to vote Democrat no matter what. Whereas Bernie's coalition, it allows us to expand the field in the way that we need to do to win a general election. And again, that's not. And then Warren said that was trashing her.
Yes,
and that her campaign was oh, this is what we've had to put up with, and we had to keep our powder dry. When Susan Sarandon is out there talking, will Bernie not silence this vile heretic, bringing up the fact that Elizabeth Warren voted for Trump's military budget?
Yes,
and
but the thing is that the way people reacted, the fainting couch thing, it was almost as if the message had said, Bernie's supporters are better educated and wealthier because they're more successful. It was this offense taken as if it was Warren supporters are all riffraff. But it was they weren't saying anything that would, to a layman, even sound insulting. even if
They
you
were-
wanted to
excuse
misperceive
me,
it.
they were making them unpersons.
Yeah.
They were saying that they were less than because they pursued higher education and
Right.
were successful. Bernie wants to empty the cities and execute everyone wearing reading
Yes.
glasses.
Matt, you joke about that, but do you remember when in the campaign ad Bernie Sanders otherized Hollywood?
Right? Yes.
Wait,
that's
what?
true.
Hollywood.
Wait, what?
Excuse me, sir. Hollywood, where dreams are made.
Wait, was that there's an ad?
Yes, there was an ad where he had some Iowa farmer go, I know Bernie is not there for Hollywood or for the big companies. And someone's like, Hollywood, sir. Filled with dreamweavers and union carpenters and grips and gaffers.
No, they said it was just they were talking about like the key grips and fucking like craft services people. Like they're being othered.
Yeah.
And that was the Simp brothers.
The
who did that.
Gaffers Union went for Warren then. There's no hope
As
now.
opposed to that actually meaning, the 5,000 Weinsteinian sex monsters who control that town.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no. So again, it's just like it was another kayfabe. It was just something you're pretending to get angry about, as you said, a factually true statement about their respective bases, and then the incredibly friendly language in which their differences were expressed. It literally started, I like Elizabeth Warren. That was the beginning of the message.
But but Brendan, they're saying I like Elizabeth Warren, but here's why you should vote for Sanders, which is an attack.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the script should have said, if this was a non-misogynist campaign, the script would have said, if you can counter a voter that says, hey, I'm going to vote for Elizabeth Warren, you're supposed to say, good, you should.
Fuck Bernie
In
Sanders.
fact, I'm now donating money to her campaign, and I'm quitting this job immediately.
And I'm going to apologize to her personally.
This was really good. Did you guys see chief political correspondent for ABC News, that oinker Matthew Dowd?
Yes.
Who just said
Former George W. Bush.
George W. Bush speechwriter or comms person or something said,
speech, I think.
like, if Bernie wanted to like maybe prove that he wasn't sexist, why is he campaigning against
A good
him?
way to prove that you're
Yes.
not sexist is to not run against a woman for highest office.
Incredible.
Yep.
Incredible.
Yep.
I mean, you could say that about Joe Biden as well. If Joe Biden wasn't
Literally
sexist, why is he 20 points ahead of Elizabeth Warren in the polls?
And of course, as many pointed out, you could say that to a little guy named Barack Obama who defeated Hillary Clinton in 2008.
You could say that to Matthew Dowd himself.
Right.
People did say that about
yes,
Barack
of course.
Obama, as we'll discuss later.
So just the most pathetic. And again, as we said, compared to I miss the Hillary shit. I miss the spicy.
Oh God,
You want to talk about scorched earth?
Yeah.
That was
08 and
Obama,
16.
And Obama was such a bitch. He made her Secretary of State.
I know.
After
Team
all
of
of that.
rivals, sir. Team of rivals.
Unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if any kind of rapprochement is going to happen between these two for a while. It seems like that was a uniquely Obama type thing to do.
Well, I mean, if Bernie seems to be pretty good at recognizing who's on his fucking side and like building, and not allowing these opportunistic little fucking piglets into the tent.
True.
Matt, I mean, this gets to your point that I think is really good, is like time and time again, Bernie's political instincts are shown to be exactly right on the money. And I'm sorry, Elizabeth Warren's have been shown to be dog shit.
Very bad.
Really bad.
And
a perfect example of that is the pressure among like the kind of media liberal bubble to just have it just be like, oh, like Bernie should just apologize for this and it'll go away. No.
Yep.
Any
No, they
veteran
want-
of online cancel wars will tell you that apologizing is the first step towards drowning into a fucking pool of your own blood.
A weaker person than Bernie Sanders would have tried to do that and cut his own throat.
Yep.
Why would you think about how much of a simp you'd have to be, but not just a simp, but how bad your political instincts as someone who's trying to wield power and govern.
Yeah.
And like in a country would be where if your first instinct would to be to apologize for something that you didn't even do, and that like even like the worst version of what's being alleged to said isn't even something you should apologize for.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like, imagine how fucking bad your instincts would have to do to just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry for that. Let's just move on." That is giving them the bullet that they shoot at you at your own execution.
Yep.
Like,
And I'm sure that once he did that, all of the Dante
everyone
Atkinsons
would
would
we're
have.
feeling.
he did the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm actually now thinking about voting for Bernie because he's so honest.
I'm
and-
sure they
and
would have
willing
flocked
own
to him
up.
because, of course, they're real progressives, and what they want is the policy. They want the meat and potato progressive policy. So they would have forgiven Bernie immediately. That's a good point. And like we said before, Yeah, and I have to say, not that I really care, but even when she was surging, he didn't even go negative on her. Like, even when she, a couple months ago, had her, it looked like, oh, wow, maybe she's going to do it. He just kind of drew differences and distinctions, and that would have been the moment.
Point, he doesn't really have to, because honestly...
Now he doesn't have to.
That's his... But I really don't think he ever did, because I do think that they're drawing from different pools of voters. And once her ceiling got hit and she started going down, and certainly once Bernie starts like looking to be in a good position, first or second in early states, he doesn't need her fucking votes, which is why he was in the middle of pivoting against Biden when this all of a sudden happened.
Another good indication of why this is happening now. What else has happened over this last week, of which over the Politico and now CNN stories have happened? Bernie racking up a shitload of endorsements from things like the Sunrise Movement, Dream Defenders, major unions.
This is my favorite one. So, like, the Working Families Party endorsed Warren last year in the fall or something, and it's made up of constituent organizations. Since then, every one of the constituent organizations that make up the Working Families Party has endorsed Bernie. Every one of them.
They put the fam in Working Families Party. That's cool. I didn't know that.
He's racking up endorsements. He's going up in the polls.
Man, somebody whose go-to move in a campaign is whining about process and how they were personally being treated and things like that, going to do great against Trump.
Yep.
Going to kill it.
Disaster.
As we know. That's when he bullies people and they complain about it.
Yeah.
People sympathize with them.
It takes oxygen away from him every time.
And people are like, wow, maybe this guy was really a jerk. No, thank you, sir.
Trump doesn't thrive off of that kind of petty squabbling that you would
As though he is not on record. There's a fucking Daily Beast article last week about how he's panicking about fucking placing against Bernie, because Bernie would not be doing all this fucking like, Mr. Trump, you're a damn Cheeto.
So, I'm sorry, this is a little bit breaking the chronology, but this just went out. He tweeted this.
I just got impeached for making a perfect phone call.
It's in all caps. It's actually funnier if you read it rather than hear it, but it's in all caps. And Libby just texted me and said, read this in George Costanza voice. I just got impeached for making a perfect phone call.
Jerry, it's a perfect phone call, Jerry. It's a perfect phone call.
And he's letting loose.
Was it perfect, George? Perfect. You cannot have a more perfect call.
Anyway, but yeah, that's not the type of guy that would at all capitalize on your propensity for not only fucking up, but then turning it into, as you say, like office politics, gossipy bullshit.